everybody. Michael Coulombe here. A few years ago, I had written a poem called When Hate Reigns, Inaugural Day. And basically it was a poem about a man coming into power whose heart was full of hate, and that people would blindly follow him. And then as they did, all of these things would happen around them. And it's interesting how in 2020, there's all these things happening. We're in the middle of a global pandemic, and we're hitting a recession. It just feels very like end of the world-ish, I guess. So I thought it would be relevant to read this poem and introduce it to you. So here is When Hate Reigns, Inaugural Day. It is inaugural day. The crowd gathers. People clamor as hate steps up to the podium. He is calm, collect. The weather is cool, brisk. The people are excited and alive from the commemoration. Hate is poised over the calamity of noise as onlookers stare up at him in awe. Tall, almost elegant with his grand gestures. His voice thunders in everyone's head. He speaks. People, I am here today before you as a symbol of a new beginning that is about to take place. We are on the threshold of a new era, an era free from the destruction of obscenity, the infestation of affectivity. At the forefront of this populace, I shall begin the absolution to freedom. And hate smiled, and the people cheered, for they had a leader who was brave. Then there was a dark cloud that loomed above, fat and swollen with rain. But the people didn't care, for rain was good. It fed the ground which nourished life. So it mattered none that it was a murky, mysterious rain. And the rain fell, and hate smiled, and the people cheered, for they had a leader who provided for the people. Then a mighty wind rose and carried with it the spirit of transformation, the embodiment of change. The wind was good because it brought change. Change was good because it is fundamental. So it mattered none that the wind eroded the land that the rain had cultivated. And the wind blew, and the rain fell, and hate smiled, and the people cheered, for they had a leader who pioneered growth. Then the land trembled, and it shook with the force of 1,000 secrets never revealed, and the rumbling of truth that none believed. But it was good because it carried the knowledge of the beginning of time. So it mattered none that time tumbled away under the roar of the soil. And the earth shook, and the wind blew, and the rain fell, and hate smiled, and the people cheered, for they had a leader who promoted the sovereignty of faith. And hate stood motionless at the pulpit. The crowd trampled over one another for the glimpse of his auspicious demeanor, that flicker of something almost sinister in his eye, which they knew meant that he was a man of great power. And hate smiled, and the people cheered, for they had a leader who would lead them through a revolution. And the earth shook, and the wind blew, and the rain fell, and hate smiled, but the people quailed from this future, for it was different, it was unfamiliar. And hate stepped away from the platform as the onlookers stared up in awe. The silence echoed through the heart of each spectator. This was indeed the commencement of a new instigation of life.